All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our daily huddle. And sometimes they're I think they're daily or they're daily. I don't know. There's
Can't
probably
hear
a
you.
daily huddle going on all the time. So, you guys cannot hear me? You sure? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me.
Your sounds really low. And
Really,
I have
really,
mine on high.
really low. How about now? Can you hear me now?
Perfect. Thank
There we
you.
go. So I'm excited. Couldn't go to sleep until about, like, I don't know, 2:30 last night. I woke up at 6, like, let's go. So I've got 3 days to get ready for this wedding, and I got to write my vows. That might be a good idea. So it's a good thing I talk a lot for a living. I probably shouldn't wing that though. It's probably not a good idea. So Mandy's like, no, bad idea. So after this morning, I'm going to do this call at 9. I'm going to do the social networking professionals call at 10, and then you're not going to see me until this next week. So I gotta get to work on some things. But I am super excited to be here this morning. So a couple different things that are really important here as we're going through this is we right now are all building into boot camp, right? How many of you guys are already registered for boot camp? Give me some thumbs up. Give me some waves, right? Okay. So if you're not registered for boot camp yet, what you waiting for? All right. So as get yourself registered, it is going to be the most important event that we have coming up. I have a problem keeping secrets. That's why corporate doesn't tell a lot of them to me, because it's like I want to tell everybody immediately all the good news. So they're like, no, stop that. So they haven't told me everything, but they give me the details. But I do know a lot of things that are coming at boot camp. The reason I know a lot of things that are coming at boot camp is because I know a lot of things that are coming years before they come. What do I mean by that? I know 40 products that are in development in Israel that will be being released over the years to come. Different categories of products that are going to be released. I already know that stuff. Problem is, I'm not going to tell you, like, tell me. I'm not. Trust me. It's more fun when you come to convention and you get surprised. But outside of that, technology, programs, things that are going to be implementing, that Seacret is committed to being world-class professional, the best of the best. Because if we're going to go create a billion-dollar company, like, no joke, this is happening, right? And it's happening. It's going to be happening. I don't know. If I had a ballpark, I'd say it's somewhere between 24 and 36 months. Seacret will be doing 100 million a month, which is $1 billion a year. So now, in order for that to happen, we got to 10x and we got to move some business and we got to move some volume. Now, the systems and things that are happening. So, but boot camp is it's kind of where all roads lead. All roads lead to boot camp. All right. So platinums and above, trainer school, holy cow. But also, if you know anybody in Europe or close to Europe that wants to literally get out of their country, have them come visit us in Dubai at the Forging of Champions event. I'm going to be there. Obviously, the Marquesetta event over on that side of the world. If you're crazy and you want to come. So, have some fun with me over there in Dubai. But for those of you guys local here, coming into that event is going to be one of the most important things that we do as a community, we do as a family, and we do as we get connected. Okay. That being said, right now, one of the things that's really important is the Dash for Cash. Okay. If you haven't qualified for your Dash for Cash yet, what you want to do is make sure is log into your back office, and right there, when you click on it, should be your tracker and shows you your Dash for Cash. I got my Dash for Cash bonus, that $200 bonus, and I qualified for it in the first week, I think, something like that, of coming out of the convention. That promotion is till May 17th, the Dash for Cash for you and to helping people. So boot camp, Dash for Cash. Write these in your notes. Boot camp, Dash for Cash. Really simple. A couple different things. If you haven't picked up your energy, buy some more. Make sure that you get that. And then lastly is our experience packs. So our experience packs that are going out right now, one of the most important things that we need to be doing is we need to be focusing on our follow-up. And I did a training on that a little bit ago on follow-ups and the importance of following up, because really fortune is in the follow-up, but fortune's in the immediate follow-up, right? And getting on top of this right away is really important for your business. Now, I know follow-ups are usually not sexy. It's not like a sexy thing. Like, I can't wait to follow up with somebody 5 times and have them not answer. I get it. That's not normally the thing that we're looking for. However, your freedom is found in your follow-ups. So I did a training last night with our bronzes and above on follow-ups. We're going to be getting that replay out to those bronzes and above. My recommendation, ask them for that training. Bronzes and above, I would give you full permission to share that training. Not all of them, because not all of the trainings are meant for everybody, but that bronze and above training I did last night, I don't know about you. I got off of it and I was like, high five to myself. That was a good one. So if you have not, Stupid. So if you have a bronze and above that was on the call, and be like, text them right now and be like, Jesse said I'm allowed to watch the bronze and above training. Watch that training, because it's not my topic here for today. But the experience packs and getting these out there, we got a lot of them that are hitting people's doors. No, I want you guys to understand, if you just think that you're going to send these out by giving someone an address and they're magically going to find your site and sign up, and you're not going to have to follow up 3, 4, 5 times with them in order to get them, get the Zoom, get that done, you are mistaken. I'm telling you, you got to make sure and re-educate your expectations. So it's not going to be you send it, you automatically get a hold of them, you easily get a hold of them, and then you easily get on a Zoom, and then you easily sign them up. It's not why we make so much money. We make so much money because it's challenging. It's a simple process, but it is challenging. All right. So we're going to become professionals at follow-up. Yes? 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 Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. All right. Now, what I want to go into today is actually a little different topic. All right. So, and kind of transitioning this a little bit, because it's, if you're looking at follow-ups, but one of your biggest kind of secret weapons inside of Seacret, and what has helped me sign up, recruit more leaders than anything else, was the story of Seacret. Okay. And it's such a powerful story. And what's very exciting is this, is a handful of days ago, Seacret released a new version of the story of Seacret shared by Isaac Ben Shabbat. Okay. Now, I have recorded lots of versions of this story and shared it in long. Many of you, if you were a part of social, the kind of explosion that happened a year ago, you heard me share these stories of Seacret. I just did it this morning at 8 o'clock. That recording we should probably get as well. I think it was pretty good. But most people, unless they're already engaged and already committed, aren't going to spend an hour to listen to a story about a company start. That's just not what they're going to do. Okay. Most people aren't there for the movie. What we need is the trailer to the movie. And Seacret has put together the trailer to the movie, and you're going to be seeing this in your ATM group pages, in your group pages. It's something that you can use in different locations. And you're going to start seeing that. You're going to see this inside the app. If it's not there yet, it will be there shortly, as a follow-up tool and as an exposure tool that you can use. Me personally, I am using the ATM groups, the ad tag message groups. So we've got a few different ones here, whether it be Sea Life Wellness, Sea Life Sciences, whether it be Elite Lifestyle, whatever it is. There's different groups that are out there. Make sure to plug in the one that your support team is utilizing and promoting, because that's where you're going to get the most support. Because they all really do very similar things. Okay. So, but in terms of this, is I'm doing ATME, ad tag message experience. And one of the things I'm doing is using the story, okay, to provide more confidence. So I'm going to share it with you guys here today, because I know most of you haven't seen it or haven't seen this version. Even if you have seen this version, because it just got released a couple of days ago, watch it. But I want you to pay attention, because I want to know is how well can you share this story? Because people need to hear it from you. And we're going to talk about it afterwards, of how I've used this particular tool to the best of my abilities. So let me see here. I'm actually going to turn my video off. Okay. So, and we are not going to listen to you anymore. We are going to go over to here. Nope. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So, but when we share, we're going to share and make sure we optimize for video and share computer sound. So it's 5 minutes. Enjoy. And then we're going to come back here and we're going to discuss some very important pieces of this puzzle and helping you guys, because learning this story and learning how to share the story personally, not just the video, is what has helped me sign up the more leaders than anything else that I've ever done. So here you go. Can you guys hear it?
I was born in Israel, which is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. I had a great childhood. Actually, I was defined as poor, I think. I never knew it because my parents never made me understand that we are poor. But growing up in Israel was an amazing experience for me. My brother, that was just at the time finished his military service, was trying to have enough money to go to medical school. We didn't have it. Medical school was very expensive. So after some phone calls, he heard that there are people in Houston, Texas, that working on ice cream trucks. 2 years go by, 3 years goes by, and my family is upset. Everybody's waiting for him. The future doctor of the family is actually an ice cream truck driver. So I told myself, I'm gonna go help my brother for a few days and convince him to go back home. My brother picked up the phone, called my parents, and he told them, Mom and Dad, I have some good news. Isaac and me will going to open the family business. Obviously, my dad is a very excited guy about new opportunities. The day after, my dad basically put his house for sale and liquidated his entire life. The entire value of our family liquidation was $60,000. We just asked ourselves, how can we really save the family out of this situation? A group of Israelis out of actually New York, I heard that they made $200,000 in 4 months selling toys in kiosks. So I looked online and I ran into this video of a child out of China flying a helicopter, and I was excited. I said, this is a cool toy, maybe we can bring that and sell it in Christmas. On their website, everything was in Mandarin except for the wire instruction page. It was very clear English. They said, this is how you order product from us. Minimum order is 50,000 helicopters and the amount is $60,000. When we heard about it as a family, and that's everything that we had, I remember my dad saying, this is our destiny. For us, the way to do it was to talk to the people that you trust the most, your friends. And we just called them and we said, hey, we're sorry to do it to you, but my family sold everything that we have. If you can do me a favor, you come over here for the next 4 months. I can't pay you, but in these 4 months, we need to make $200,000 to save our family. And if you do it for me, I promise you for the rest of my life, I will be at your debt. And by the way, you have to pay for your own flight. Would you say yes if somebody called you and asked you something like that? But you know what, when you have no other option, when you have to do what you have to do for your family, you know, you don't think about it. And we were so fortunate that 20 of our friends, just without any question, they just paid for their own flights. They came over, we got the products at the end. And in these 4 months, we made over $4 million in revenue, which I have no idea up to today how it happened. I've experienced something that I didn't even know exists. The power of a group of people working for one mission, one goal. No interest of money, no special benefits for them, just in a mission to save somebody else. In that case, it was my family. And we understood that as a business unit, we can do everything that we want, but what if we can add value to people? It's going to make everything so much more worth it. So I knew that I have to do some research and find this product that nobody else has and I can bring to America. In Israel, there is a place that is just magical. We call it the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is the lowest point on Earth. Because of that being the lowest point on Earth, all the minerals from the entire region is being accumulated in this body of water. We said, what if we can take these unique minerals, package them in unique products that now we call Seacret, and bring them to people. That's how you create value. And in 2005, we came out with the skincare line that now we call Seacret. So ask yourself, what if you challenge yourself in your current situation? You don't accept it for what it is. What if you tell yourself, there is a way to create a better future for me? I believe that this future can be here with Seacret, can be here with us. For me, the most important thing about doing Seacret is to meet the people, to get to know them better, to see where they come from, what's their background, what are their dreams, what are they looking for in their life, and to see that through Seacret, they can look better, they can feel better, they can live better. They can do something significant with their life. For me, that's worth waking up in the morning and do what I do. Welcome to Seacret.
Boom. All right. So pretty darn good, right? Hang on a sec. I gotta make sure I stop this YouTube video from auto playing onto the next one. Bum, bada, bum. All right, I'm back. Pretty darn good, right? So now that's the 5-minute version of that story. But many of you have heard the Ben Shabbat story and a 10-minute version, maybe a 15-minute version, maybe an hour. I just did an hour version of the story. I think, if I'm not mistaken, let's see if there was anybody that was on there. I think from my earlier session this morning at 8 o'clock. And the story is very personal to me. It's personal to what we're doing. It's why this company exists. That is why this company exists. Now, if you don't have that video, you can find it on Seacret's YouTube page. And if you aren't subscribed to Seacret's YouTube page, I would recommend that you do. So I think it's secretdirect.com/, that's a good question. Seacret Direct. I don't know. So this is their Seacret Direct. I recommend that you're on it. I recommend that you on their Instagram, be in their Facebook group, all these other things, right? And the reason why is when videos pop up, I have the notifications on that anytime Seacret posts a video on Vimeo, I see it right away. So, and these resources. Now we're going to be pulling these resources. I don't recommend you're sending people to YouTube, but for now, if you have somebody that needs to see it, they can see it, because we are taking these videos and we're putting it inside of our ATM groups. Now, sending someone to YouTube, they get lost in the sauce. That's not what we're looking to do. We want to use the marketing effectively. So it's better to add them to a group, tag them in the video, message them, because then they're in the group. Okay. So a lot of people are asking, can we get this video off of YouTube? It's like, you can, but you're messing up the method and the system behind the whole deal. Right. So there's no follow-ups. They're not in the group. They're not seeing the next post. It's difficult. Plus, when they see that post and they see the comments, because what a lot of people will do when they see something that's interesting, what are the first thing to do? They go read the comments. So, right. And on YouTube, there's not the comments. You want the comments to be agents that are talking about how amazing the story is. Oh my God, I had a chance to meet Isaac. He gave me a hug. Right. So amazing. But please write this in your notes. Stories. I know we talk about this, but we're going to talk about it forever. Facts tell, stories compel. I know some of you guys are thinking I was going to say facts tell, stories sell. True, they do. They sell. But I like compel. And what I mean is they move people. They move people positively, negatively. People say, well, I've been telling this story and I'm not getting the result. You're getting a result, just not the one you want. Okay. So what we need to be doing is talking about our story. Now, there are different types of stories. The Ben Shabbat story is one story. These are stories that you want to know and need to know. And when you can articulate these stories, by the way, when somebody asks me why Seacret, this is the story I say. This is why I do this. This is why I joined. This is why I walked away and resigned a 6-figure residual income I built for 9 years, knowing I was not going to be able to talk to anybody legally for 2 years from my previous business and start over from scratch. It's because of this story. This is what it was. So number one, story. Okay. Why? Number two, another story that you need to learn is the story of the Dead Sea. How well can you romance somebody into the story of the Dead Sea? And I want you to write the word romance, enchant. And I don't mean some hype or hyperbole. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the story. Okay. You don't need to embellish. The truth is good enough. In fact, we are the organization. Most of you are part of the Truth Empire. I don't think it's a mistake. It's called the Truth Empire, right? Why is it called the Truth Empire? Because they build with the truth. And because it's Trisha and Ruth and combined as truth, and I get credit for that. It's very cute. So, all right. Now, what we're talking about here is the story of the Dead Sea, the story of the Seacret, the story of the Dead Sea. Next, okay, are testimonials. Now, what are testimonials? They're just short stories. Testimonials. Now, there are 3 types of stories that you need to learn in order to be effective and out this. So when in doubt, tell a story. Write this in your notes. When in doubt, tell a story. If I get stuck, tell a story. If I have an objection I don't know how to overcome, tell a story. If somebody's not responding, tell a story. If somebody's deciding to quit the business, what do? That's right, tell a story. Somebody doesn't want to come to convention. What are we going to do? Telling a story. Story. You want to have a pocket full of stories, right? And you can pull them out at any time, at any moment, and anywhere. And when you are just full of powerful stories, man, you become so good at this business. You become like a networking ninja, right? So it's like, and the reason why is because you have a story to help somebody from where they are to where they need to be. Now, what we're talking about here is influence. Now, this is very important. Please write this in your notes. Influence versus manipulation. Influence versus manipulation. Unfortunately, okay, leadership can be used in both sides. And it's a very fine line between the two. It's a very fine line. And a lot of people skate it. Network marketers are notorious for being terrible at pretending like they're being influential leaders when they're manipulative leaders. For sure. See it all the time. How many of you guys have been around, maybe not network marketing, how many of you guys have been around a manipulative leader that thought they were a good leader, right? They thought they were, like we've all probably been there. Many of you, it's the reason why you found Seacret as your home, because you're like, oh, these people are they're real people. Okay, cool. This is nice. Like, I don't have to be like, wait, where's the knife? Like, we don't have to be looking over our shoulder all the time and second guessing what they're doing or what their intentions are. We don't. Like, that's why for me, coming to Seacret so great. I never had to guess what Isaac's intentions were or his family's intentions were. So, but in any event, the reason why I'm bringing this up, manipulation, all this other stuff, leadership, influence, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, as John C. Maxwell says. Was Hitler a good leader? And the answer is yes. Did he lead a lot of people? Now, he was a terrible leader. You didn't like how he led, but did he lead a lot of people? And the answer is yes. So the difference here in this is, what is the difference between influence and manipulation? The reason why you're influencing. It's that simple. What's the reason why you're influencing? If you're influencing for your own reasons and your own benefit solely, that's manipulation. If I'm influencing for your benefit, for your reasons, that's leadership. Now, do they have to be mutually exclusive? Meaning, I don't have to lose for you to win. It's not like I have to influence you. It can be a win for me too, but it has to be a win for you first. I have to be second in the equation when it comes to influence. Meaning, it can't be a win for me and then maybe a win for you. That is not influence. That is not leadership. So in stories, the stories that we're looking to create influence, to influence people's ideas, thoughts, philosophies, thinking, right, are in 3 different categories. So the stories that you need to learn inside of Seacret is 3 different stories from the business. You need to learn your upline story. Okay. You need to learn your upline story. How well do you know your upline story? How well do you know Trisha and Ruth's story? How well, if you don't know their story, call them and ask them about it. How well do you know Whitney's story? I just got to hear Whitney's testimonial the other day on a video in another group that we heard. And I was like, I got another piece of the story. How well do you know Carla's story? How well do you know Carrie Joe's story? Like, seriously, Carrie Joe has an unbelievable story. I saw her on here a little bit earlier. Crazy. Oh, she's there. All right. Molly, your story. Holy smokes. Snikes, right? Story. Genevieve, when you told me your story, I remember when we first started talking at the very beginning of this, about a year ago, and you told me the story and your life and your health and where you are and what you were doing. I was inspired by your story and still am. And I'm so proud of you for all the things that you're doing and the hard work that you're doing. It's incredible. All right. So we have incredible stories. All right. Now, I know your stories. The question is, how well do you know our stories? But more importantly, how much do you share with them? Guys, I share your stories a lot. I share yours all the time. Guys, do you know I share your stories for me to recruit people? Isn't that crazy? So the first stories you need to learn is your upline story. First story. Second story, your story. Your story. So number 1, upline story. Second story is your story. What's your story? Somebody's like, I don't have a good story. Yes, you do. Okay. Because many of you are thinking your story of where you are currently. Nobody cares. Here's what's important: where you're going. People are inspired by your direction, not your position. Well, I don't think I've ever said that before. That's really good. Write that down. So people are inspired by your direction, not your position. Oh, there's a quote. There's a J-Mac original. I've never heard that. Has anyone ever heard that? I've never heard that before. I think I made that up. Oh, rarely. Most of the stuff I'm just copying from people. This is a good one. Okay. I'm on one today. I'm channeling. My mom is totally with me this week for sure. Okay. So that's a good one. Number 1. Number 2. Okay. All right. Sorry. Number 1, upline story. Number 2. Now, upline story doesn't have to be just your direct upline. It can be anyone in your support team in your upline. Doesn't mean to be directly connected to you. How many of you know Matt Morris's story? How many of you know Jefferson Santos's story? There's some new incredible leaders in the world of Seacret. We know their stories. All right. Third one, and this is the most important one: your team's stories. Your team stories. my upline is Isaac. So that's like the only story I get to use. So I don't really get an upline to talk about. But I get to talk about my business partner, Muzaffar, who was an upline to me when he was a corporate employee for 2.5 years before he transitioned into the field and we became business partners. So I was telling his story. Now, how many of you guys have realized if you get around Muzaffar, you are gonna, it's impossible to get around Muzaffar and not believe in Seacret. Like his confidence is just absolutely insane. You'd be like, okay, I'm gonna just run through a brick wall and tackle somebody and sign them up. That's how I feel like when I talk to Muzaffar. I don't know about you, but how many of you guys, when you hear Muzaffar share his story, it's inspiring. Because when he shares his story about finding Seacret, and one of my favorite things, when he talks about his quote unquote failures or mistakes or people that he's chosen, he said, when I was coming to Seacret, I was looking for one thing. I was looking for the right people to be in business with. I was looking for the right people to be in business with. I wasn't tired of working. I was tired of looking. That's a good story. It's not my story. It's whose story? It's Muzaffar's story. I know that story so well. I could literally do Muzaffar's story. Like almost verbatimly weird. It would be creepy how well I could do the story. Some of you guys like, do it. No, I'm not going to do it right now. We don't have time for that. Okay. So, but stories. So I know his story, but your team stories become the most powerful. So your team stories. Now, there are 2 different types of stories inside of your business. Write this down. 2 different types of stories in your business. Success stories and product stories. You need both. One is not good enough. How many of you guys know I got a lot of stories about the products from when I first started doing Seacret in those first 100 demonstrations I did? My mom, on what happened to her and the picture of her, my friend Suzanne, okay, my buddy Steve, who I sent the aftershave to, my buddy Bhavin, who I sent it to. He doesn't shave because he's religious. He's a Sikh. And he was like, I can't believe, why would you send me this? And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And he was like, no, it smells so good. I'm going to use it as aftershave, as cologne. I'm like, that's a good story. I got a lot. How many stories I have on the products? How many stories do I have on the skincare? How many stories do I have on the nutrition? And how many stories am I developing right now about Club Seacret? You know what my most important thing about Seacret right now is? People go, I don't know how to sell this. The reason why? We don't have enough stories. So what do we need? I need more stories. I need more stories of this person who saved this, who went on this trip. I need the story from this and this and this and this. Get it? So when people say, I can't sell it, stop selling it. You need more stories. We need better stories. That's what we need. Okay. So anytime you're running into feedback where you're like, I'm not communicating my message, stories. Now, there's a different type of story, okay? And please write this in your notes, that will help you in connecting the dots. And write these down. Metaphors, and analogies. Metaphors and analogies are incredibly powerful for communicating. Like as a kid, you guys remember, like, your parents didn't read you bedtime facts. They read you bedtime stories, because if it wasn't in the story format, we wouldn't have gotten it. So it's like Jack and Jill went up the hill. Jack was 5'9". Jill was 5'4". She was 135 pounds. She fell down, rolled 16 times on the left side of the mountain, which is at 32 degrees. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. What we're looking towards, the moral of the story. So analogies and metaphors are incredibly powerful. I use them a lot in my business. How many of you guys have heard me use an analogy or metaphor before? I use them in almost every presentation. Okay. Now, one of the things, I want you to write this down in stories. Okay. When you're sharing your presentation, your goal is to share the presentation and paint them into the story. Paint them into the picture. You want them to be thinking when the presentation that they're painted into the story or the picture of this happening. They're there in the Dead Sea or imagining it or thinking about what it would be like to float. They're thinking about what it would be like to have the mud all over them. They're thinking about what it would be like to have residual income coming in $400 or $500 a month. Thinking about what it would feel like to have an experience of waking up with just kind of rest or having energy throughout the day. They're being painted into the picture. Okay. These are the things that we're doing. So stories are not just something, and we hear about this, facts tell, stories sell. Yeah, stories compel, not just sell, they compel, right? So they're going to move people in. Now, there are lots of different stories, but we want to become master storytellers. Here's what's very important. We are not exaggerators, and we're not going to pluck shit out of thin air and just say it, because we heard somebody say it. That's not what this group does. That's not what we're going to do. We are professional marketers. Okay. We don't need the hype. We don't need it. In fact, a lot of times it's better to underplay it and undersell and over deliver when it comes to our products, our business, or whatever it is. Okay. So, but be real with people. People appreciate it. Most of you, one of the reasons you're with Seacret is because that's the experience you've had in coming to Seacret and being part of Seacret. Because we know not everything's going to be perfect. Okay? But we want to make sure that we take care of and making sure that our stories are accurate and precise. Now, one of the things you'll find is most people in the beginning as storytellers, as they start telling their story, the idea is, how do you condense a 50-minute story into 4 minutes, a 4-minute story into 2 minutes? And how can you condense it and take out some of it, but still have the impact of the story? And that's not easy to do. In the beginning, as kids, we start telling stories. How many of you guys know what I'm talking about? And the stories, and then your kids will tell you the story about everything that happened that day when they see you. How many of you guys know what happens? Like when your kids get home, especially when they're in there, like, because my brother's 13 years younger than me. So I remember this, like when he's 7 years old and he got back, or I got back from a long day work. He's like, Jesse, let me tell you what happened today. And he's like, oh, and then this happened, and the kid at the school, and then the parents, and then it's like story. Right? So we're not trying to do that, but that's usually where we're all going to start. It's going to be jumbled. And what do we have in there? And as we start learning our stories is what we can cut out, and cut out the fillers and get right to the point of our stories. So today, okay, 2 things that I would highly recommend. So in your notes, these are things we need to do. Register for boot camp. Number 1, if you're not registered for boot camp, register. Number 2, dash for cash. Earn your dash for cash. Out of sight, out of mind. Go look at your tracker right now. Where are you at? Number 3, if you don't have 10 in play of these bad boys, go get them out. Get out your 10 in play. Number 3. Number 4, contact your bronze and above and be like, Jesse McPherson said I'm allowed to listen to the replay of the bronze and above training he did last night on follow-ups because it was freaking epic. Okay. Also give you a taste of what it's like for the bronze and above training, which you want to get to bronze every week. Okay. Number 4, bronze and above training. Number 5, here's your homework. Share the Seacret story with 10 people this week. 10 people. I'm going to share the Seacret story. Just practice it. Call a hater. Be like, hey, listen, I got to share you the story of Seacret. I know you're not interested, so you're a perfect person to practice on. I don't care. All right. So 10 people you're going to share the story to. You are going to share it, not send the video. You are going to share the story. You're like, I don't know how to share the story. Well, then watch the video and then regurgitate it. Okay. Tell your version of the story. Share the Seacret story. Share the Seacret story. Now, 10, what is it? 2 a day. Why? Because that's our cadence. That's our rhythm. 10 in play right away, 2 a day, every day. And what is 2 a day every day? Sharing the story, sharing the experience. Okay. So if it takes 5 minutes to share the story, that's 10 minutes out of your day every day. So, all right. So who do? I don't know. Text somebody and be like, hey, I got a short story I got to share with you. You got 5 minutes? That's your opening text. Okay. So listen, I got challenged by one of the gentlemen I work with to share the story of our company in 5 minutes. I just want to share with you. No agenda. That's it. Can I practice I want to share it with you. I want to show you this amazing story. So almost every single leader that I have signed up inside of Seacret, the story was the most important part of the process. Now, sometimes it was the first thing and the first exposure. Sometimes it was the 3rd exposure. Sometimes it was the 5th exposure. But it was never longer than actually, that's not a lie. It's not even the 5th exposure ever. The first exposure might have been the products, and the first exposure might have been a presentation or an invitation. But after that, as soon as there was interest for somebody that had any experience, the story was always the most important thing that I would go into right after that. Because it's what Seacret is. Okay. So that is it for today. Hopefully that's enough to chomp on. I am excited for I got a wedding in 3 days. It's going to be nuts. And I'm super excited to celebrate with a lot of my family here in Seacret, and Trish and Rob that are going to be there. So that's awesome. Thank you for letting me borrow your children and putting them to work yesterday. Super cool. So like child labor. Yeah. But also for many of you, you guys know how important Seacret is for me for the last 10 years, but this family and this community, the decision I made 10 years ago to join, it's the reason I joined is because for me, it felt like home, and that has never changed. Doesn't mean it's always been easy. Doesn't mean I agreed with everything that's happened. Doesn't mean I agree with everything that Isaac does. as an owner. But I know that his heart, I know his intention, and I know his commitment to this family, this community, and he would die before he let anything happen in this family. And yesterday was a pretty cool day because the wedding is at Isaac's house on Saturday. And we were at his house yesterday doing a bunch of work, trying to set up lights and figuring out what we were doing for the weekend. And I can't wait over the years to come as the world starts opening up and you guys can come. I promised you guys a Friday night dinner for this family, for anybody that wants to come to Phoenix and have dinner Friday night with the family. And we are ready to finally schedule that for those that are in the United States of America. So next week, I'm going to get some dates out that we can schedule for you guys to be able to come to Phoenix and have dinner with the family on Friday night, which is what I had a chance to experience 10 years ago that made me go, this is home. So I'm so proud of you guys. I'm going to be on Social Networking Professionals in 10 minutes. I'm excited to see what I'm going to say because I have no idea what it's going to be yet, but I think it's going to be good. So Trish, give me some ideas, or I might just do something about stories. But I will be probably off record until Tuesday of next week. So we will see you on the flip side, on the married side, and have a spectacular week and go after it this week. So 5 things: boot camp, dash for cash, 10 experiences right away, listen to the bronze and above training. You're going to share the story of Seacret 10 times this week. Okay. Don't think that's too much to ask. All right. Let's make it happen. Trish, everybody, thank you guys. Bye.
Have a great weekend.